This tutorial presentation is about the fourth session in the set of PowerPoint presentations of the introductory part of the Gita program. This is about how people behave. Everyone is interested. Everyone wonders, why do I behave in a way that I regret? People also wonders why others behave in such a way. So Gita explains in this session why that happens, the modes of behavior. Very interesting presentation. So what you're going to see next is a preview on how I help you to present this particular session in a very effective way.
This session is very interesting. And why is it interesting? Because nowadays people are very curious about behavior. Behavior, how do you think, how you are, your personality. So psychology nowadays is very popular. You go to any library, any talk show, there are, gurus of sorts in this realm, pretty much all around the world. So people are interested in knowing how to behave, how to think, how to feel. So this is a very good way to give a sense of where the Vedas stand in regards of behavior. The participants should have a clear idea what you're talking about, right? We went through in second session about what is the soul, difference from the body. So we have the image of a lady putting on a mask. The soul, the real you. So who's the real you? We already have discussed that. But now we're going to discuss more in detail about karma. Point here, it's not how to act, which was the topic of the previous presentation, but why. And the question here when someone is seeing his reflection on the mirror is, why do we perform a certain type of action or karma? A spirit, and you will point out this characteristic. A spirit is conscious, a spirit is immeasurable, and a spirit is eternal. A spirit is creative. And then the slide shows different graphics as matter. Matter is inert, it's measurable, and it's temporary, and it's created. So a spirit, it's conscious, immeasurable, eternal, and it's creative. And matter, it's inert, measurable, temporary, and it's created. Two things that you are describing, matter and spirit, work together. So, in order for us to understand this, just like Krishna does in the last section of the Bhagavad-gita, we have to understand the modes. In order for us to understand how this material world operates and how the living entities in this material world function, we have to understand the modes. That's why we're bringing this particular chapter, a particular session. Mode, it's equal in Sanskrit to guna, or a quality of behavior. In this case, material quality of behavior. So modes refer to a particular manner, for a particular style, or quality, or type of behavior. So what are these three modes and how they interact with each other? The three modes comprise subtle cosmological forces that are intertwined into a three-strand rope, wherein each of the strands are battling with one another for supremacy. This is a paraphrasing from what Krishna explains in the Bhagavad-gita chapter 14. These modes exert psychological influence on us, thereby impelling us towards certain kinds of action. And now we're going to give them a very specific example or characteristics of each one. And as you see in the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna explains or discusses this at length. Happiness in the modes, food in the modes, religion in the modes, penance in the modes, austerity, charity, etc. So you have goodness, passion, and ignorance, and you have the color example. So we want to make an imprint in people's mind. Just like when we had the body, the gross body, subtle body, and then we have the soul. So people have these images, these kind of mnemonics. So people remembers these things, these drawings or these colors. So we have goodness in yellow color, passion in red color, and ignorance in blue color. So they mix they mix sometimes, and we have this description here. Just as red, blue, and yellow combine to form myriad colors, these three modes of material nature create the full spectrum of human instinct and behavior. This sounds very psychological, but it is an important aspect of human life, and it is broadly described in the Bhagavad-gita. In this way, session 4, the modes of material nature, although it's a very interesting and very critical point to understand in your Vedic presentation, at the same time you can simplify it, make people understand what is the mode of goodness, what are the qualities, what are the conditioning, same thing with passion, same thing with ignorance, bring it back or link it to the session 3. What does it have to do with karma, akarma, vikarma, and how these modes correlate with the actions of the living entities. And again, what we want to emphasize is spiritual life, right? So at this point you can start mentioning that these topics, as you can see, are very interesting, but they can be quite technical, philosophical, and very deep, but at the same time very practical. And it is recommended that these topics are discussed in the association of other practitioners, right? So you say, for the people who are interested, after we finish these 6 sessions, if your facilities allow and your team agrees, you can start the next part of the Gita program, which is the summarized study sessions, which we will explain in future tutorials.
So what do you think? Did you like it? If you're interested in purchasing the set of Gita tutorials, please click on the link below. Thank you. Hare Krishna.